amazing, super beautiful, lovely women around the globe who feel in your heart that you are meant for more than what you're currently living. You have this big, fat, massive dream of freedom, basically. All your life, you knew that you wanted to create a life in freedom, but right now you're looking around. Everybody around you are just fine with living a regular life, a normal life, and you're like, I know that this life is not for me. You feel this massive, burning frustration within yourself, but people don't seem to understand you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to that person, that woman, Hedika, who feels so deeply within herself that she did not incarnate here to earth to live a regular life. I have been excluding so many women and men as well lately for the last 3 years since we got back. Like, can't believe that it's 3 years since we actually got back to Sweden from Bali, but I've been excluding so many people and said, like, no, I'm only working with women who are future mothers. And today I want to go a bit deeper on this, and I want to share that I think, not that I've made a mistake, but I've changed my mind a bit, because Jonas and I had a conversation yesterday and it was extremely important. Like, many of our conversations are extremely important. I'm so grateful to have this superhuman in my life to really help me to see things more clearly. He said to me, Linda, you're always talking about you want to help women become mothers. You do so by helping them to find their true purpose in life so that they can be happy, fulfilled, find their purpose, their soul's calling, turn that into a business so that they can quit their 9-to-5 and then become the woman who they are meant to be. And that's how you help them to become a mom. And I'm like, yes, that's very true. That is exactly how I help women overcome unexplained infertility and overall fertility struggles, even the struggles of not being able to meet a partner. And actually, because this is the thing, when we find our true soul's calling, let's just go deeper into this. When we find our true soul's calling, all the other issues basically go away. Not entirely true, but basically. When we find, so it doesn't only matter, like, we can't just find it and then do nothing with it. But I see so many women who work with me have massive success in this, because what all of those women are realizing, like myself, we realize that, okay, I've now taken the steps so that I realize what I've come here to earth to do. And then we need to take the steps. Like today, when I had all of these realizations and I was like, okay, I gotta go live, I gotta talk about this. And I said to my spirit guides and to the love warriors, the tribal babies that are coming in, to this future mothers that I'm talking to, and that I only used to talk to, I said to them, okay, so how will I start this live? What will I start by saying? They were like, just go, you'll figure it out. I'm like, okay, I trust you. Thank you. So this is the thing. We need to take action. As soon as we discover something, the universe loves speed. And one of the most common questions that people are asking me, why I think that so many people are so fascinated by my work, is because I am the queen of manifestations. What is the one word, for those of you who are alive right now, what is the one word that you would say that you, when you think about me, what is the one word that you would think about? Like, what word would you connect to me, to my work, to what I stand for? What is that? And also for all of you who are watching this later on. So I did promise in a post earlier today on Instagram and here on my private Facebook profile, and I said, I have a confession to make. And the confession is what I'm just going to say now. The confession and the realization came from that conversation that Jonas and I had yesterday. And he asked me, he was like, okay, so if it is that you truly help women which he knows that it is, but he said it in this way, like, okay, so if it is that you truly help women to, oh, power, I love that, thank you. So if it is that you help women find their true soul's calling, and you only help freedom-driven women, so you only help women who are like really freedom-driven, so you don't help like anybody who just want to get pregnant, or you have a very specific target of women. And this is where it has become really confusing in my marketing. This is where it has become really confusing for myself as well, because I said I'm helping the women who want to overcome whatever fertility struggles they have, so that they can become the woman that they are meant to be and then become a mom. But I'm only helping this very specific group of women, the women who know in their heart that there must be something more to their life. So when another woman came up to me yesterday in our co-working space and she said, oh, I would like, what is it that you do? And I explained to her very shortly. I said, well, I help women who want to have a baby but can't have a baby for some reason. I help them become moms. And she was like, I have so many friends like that. Could I refer them to you? And I was like, yeah, you could. But only if they want freedom. Because I'm not here to put more babies into the world. I'm here, and I've said this before, but I never really understood, like, well, what is the whole thing? I am here, my soul is here to connect with women who have been on the same journey as me. And I'm coming to realize now that the infertility that I went through is not the main focus of my story. I thought it was the main focus of my story because that's when I woke up to my soul's calling. It was because the infertility, but the infertility was a trigger. It was something painful enough so that it triggered me to look for answers. But the answer that I truly wanted a solution to was my drive for freedom. Some of you were on my freedom training before. It was like a really powerful, Erika. It was a really powerful training on really how to, like, after you find your soul's calling, how to start make money from it. Super powerful. And in that training, I shared that my whole life, I've been wanting to have a life in freedom. I've been wanting to have a life in freedom where I don't have to be at a certain place at a certain time, where I don't have to have a boss. I hate working for a boss. It makes me feel trapped. It makes me feel so suffocated. And those are the women. So this is what we realized. I was like, okay, so because Jonah said, okay, so why do you want to work only, like, if it is that you're really empowering people, you're helping them to find and create that freedom life. That is your thing. You're really helping them create the freedom life that they want, that they not have known their whole life. Like, they have not come here to live a regular life. They want the fancy boat. They want the fancy luxurious cars. They want the awesome medical partner in their life. Like, they want a big life. They don't want to settle down for something regular, and they really don't want to have a normal job. No, they want to make their own money. They want to be their own boss. If you ladies are here right now, please raise your hand and say, I'm that woman, if you know what I mean. And yes, so there were so many pokes on me the last couple of days to make me realize that no, I'm not gonna change anything, because everything about what I teach, everything I stand for, everything is exactly the same, like everything. But all those women that I have excluded, thank you, Erika, for showing that. Hey, what's up? So all those women that I have excluded, that I've said no to because they were already moms, I'm sorry. I'm probably not going to do that again. I'm going to invite you. So what Jonas made me realize, because he said, the question was that you already heard, the question was, why do you only work with women who are not yet moms? And I said, well, the love warriors, the babies that are coming in, I just felt that before we are becoming moms, we have a bigger opportunity to actually change our lives. Because once we are becoming moms, then we have another life. We have another life to actually take care of. So that means that we have less time, we have less energy, most likely, to make things happen. Does that make sense? Because now we have another human being to take care of. And this is why I so much stand for becoming the best version of yourself before you have kids. So that when you are a mom, you don't have to go back to work. You can actually enjoy that life. So we had this kind of conversation back and forth, and Jonas said, well, you always knew that you wanted this freedom your whole life. So this was nothing new. It was not like we started a fertility journey and then you realized that, oh, I want freedom in my life. No, the freedom that I wanted in my life, it started when I was 3 years old. And this has been my theme for the whole life. Every single step that I've taken, every decision I've made, every man I've dated before, like everything was on the drive, my strive, my desire for freedom. So basically the two of them, like the fertility and the freedom part, had nothing to do with each other, except from the drive for freedom stopped me from getting pregnant, because the drive for freedom knew that if I would have become a mom in the life I was living, I would trap myself even more. Does that make sense? That is the only way those two go together. And those were really the women that I wanted to save. I wanted to save those women who felt that I can't get pregnant and I'm so stuck in my life and I want freedom. Like, I wanted to save them from actually pushing through with IVF and such, so that they could realize that, hey, it is actually the freedom that I want first, and then I can become a mom. Because that's how I help women through the process. But what started to happen was that many of my ladies, they did get pregnant anyway, before they started the freedom and before they truly found their soul's calling. And what happened next was that they couldn't really, this does not apply to all my clients, but it applies to several of my clients, that I saw that because they had not gone through the whole process of actually finding their soul's calling, they were not really happy in their jobs and everything like that I do teach and that I stand for. I saw that so many of these women, they were stressed out during their pregnancy. They didn't enjoy their pregnancy because they had so much other stuff on their plate. And then they become moms, and their mommy life did not turn into the mommy life that they expected. And I felt that it was kind of because of me. It wasn't because of me, but I helped them to get pregnant, and now they were in a mommy life that they did not really enjoy. And that made me really sad, because I thought and I knew that if I could have helped these women, so rather than talking so much about them getting pregnant, if I could have helped them to understand, like, hey, what I really do is to help women to find their true soul's calling, turn that into a freedom business so that they can have time and money when their kids arrive, so that they can be a freedom mom. If I could get that message across instead, I would have felt much more authentic. I would have felt much more happy and accomplished with the results when they were finally getting pregnant. Does it make sense? So for everything that I've learned throughout these years that I have been helping women, and for the conversation that Jonas and I had yesterday when he asked me, like, okay, but if it is that you truly want them, like all of them, to find their true soul's purpose, why don't you just talk a bit differently at the front? Why don't you talk to all the women? To all the women, not exclusively to the women who want to get pregnant, but exclusively to the women who feel that it must be more to their life than what you're currently living. They know that they don't understand what it is, but they know so deeply in their whole being that I did not come here to live this kind of life. At times, it doesn't even feel like they belong to Earth. Because they don't, obviously, but They don't know that right now. I know that. They don't know that. And this is part of the discovery that I help women to understand, like, where do you actually come from? If you feel like you don't belong on Earth, where are you coming from? And why are you here? Because once you understand where you're coming from, this is the thing. When I lived in my very unhappy life, I said to my ex-husband at one point, I was so depressed, and I said to him, I just want to go home. And he asked me, because this is when I lived in the northern part of Sweden, and he asked me, he was like, is that Stockholm? And I said, yeah, I think so. But as soon as I said, yes, I think so, I knew that wasn't true. That was the first time I could put words on what I felt. I felt, hey Sofia, I felt so deeply that I was so out of alignment with the life that I had come to Earth to create. So I just wanted to go home. And home did not mean Stockholm. Home did mean home to my home planet. Meaning leaving Earth. Make sense? So then, coming back to the conversation with Jonas. He said, well, if you would have gotten pregnant in that life that you were living, and it was a person, it was another person, like if you were not you, and you were the one not having the code to freedom, like he said to me, like, you have the secret key to freedom. But if you didn't have the secret key to freedom, if somebody else, a therapist, coach, had the key to freedom, and if you would have gotten pregnant already, so you were already a mom, would you not be sad if she said, no, I'm not going to work with you because you are already a mom? And I was like, I didn't really think about it that way. So that's when I came to the conclusion, the confession that I'm here to make, that for now at least, I'm gonna stop focusing on talking so much about fertility, because I realize that not everybody understands that. And I'm gonna talk about what we really understand. And that may include both non-mothers and mothers. The drive for freedom. Hating to work for a boss. No matter if you are a mom or not. I remember there were so many different things I was thinking in my head when I lived my unhappy life, when I was working in different jobs just to go by, just to have enough money to survive. Because every time I had a real job, I burned out. I knew I wasn't meant for that. I really, really hated working for a boss. So I was thinking, like, could I have an Airbnb? Not an Airbnb. Could I have a bed and breakfast in Italy? What could I do? Could I work on a sailing boat somewhere, like a luxurious sailing boat? But then I realized, well, then I'm going to have a boss anyways. So I was really looking and thinking about all these different opportunities. And this is why I had a network marketing company. And I really saw that the network marketing company was a vehicle. It's definitely not, in my opinion now, it's definitely not the best vehicle, but it was a vehicle. And this is why I was so persistent in trying to make the network marketing company take off. And I was so sad and I was so frustrated, because for so long I worked with a network marketing company, really being my own boss, but could not get the results. I was really good at presenting the business plan, and I was really good at attracting people, But then many times the morning after I presented the business plan to them, they texted me and they said, Linda, this is a scam. You were a scam, which it was not, but they thought so. And it was really a really painful time, but it taught me to get a very thick skin. It taught me that, okay, people may say stupid stuff. People may not understand. People may not be the same as me. People may not have the same drive for freedom as me, and that's okay. I'm gonna keep going. Power, right? I'm gonna keep going. And I kept going, and then bam, thanks to the infertility that became so painful in my life, today I'm understanding that it wasn't really even that I wanted to become a mom. I just wanted to get pregnant so that I could kind of feel that I was somebody, because I saw that everybody who was pregnant, they got attention, and I felt so extremely lonely in my life. I felt so lonely. I wanted my famous luxury life where I could be like famous and people could look at me and people could look up to me and give me attention. And there I was living my miserable life, being a nobody, working for a boss. There were so many parts of my life that I just felt this is not for me. Who can relate to this? And what part, if you can relate, what parts of the story can you relate to? So, when I finally found when I understood my soul had incarnated here, my soul had chosen to go through the infertility, my soul had chosen that I was gonna have the drive for freedom, because my soul had planned for my big massive fat life. That was a reason. Like, if you feel in your heart that you're supposed to be living a bigger life than what you're currently living, this is because your soul had planted that within you. You are your soul, basically, and you are inside this physical body having this human experience, and you, as the soul, you came here with this knowing that you were supposed to do freaking huge stuff as you are now on earth. And right now many of us are not living that life, and every time we are out of alignment with our soul's plan, because our we can't only work with the soul's plan, we need to work with the subconscious to allow the soul's plan to actually come forth. So I have a whole method for this, which is absolutely magical. But we need to combine it all. Like, every time our subconscious mind has the grip of us, it's gonna trick us into stuckness. It's gonna trick us into working for that boss that we hate working for. And there may not be anything wrong with the boss. It's just the fact that we have a boss. You know what I mean? Like, if you are that kind of woman, you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And this has nothing to do with the fertility or not fertility. It has to do with our drive for freedom. The drive of wanting to be more, wanting to really tap into that inner power. Because within yourself, you know, I used to be scared of the power. Who can relate to this feeling? Let me know if you can relate to this feeling. If you can relate to this feeling, please put a dragon as a symbol. Please put a dragon symbol if you can relate to this. You know that power that you feel that you have within yourself. Have you ever been scared of that power? If you have that, if you have been scared of that power, please make the symbol of a dragon. You know, the green dragon? Make that symbol in the comments below. I used to feel very long into my journey, actually, of starting my business, being successful, moving to Bali and just living my dream life, and fired my boss, all of that. You feel that dragon, right? I was scared of that dragon because I wasn't sure, what is it? It felt like I had so much power within myself and I had no idea what it was. I had no idea how to control it. I was literally afraid of even looking at it because I didn't know what was going to happen once I tapped into it. I was like, will my whole life be destroyed? Like, will I become a different person? What will happen? So I know that, like, thank you so much for sharing the green dragon, because I did a session one time, my friends. So I have these beautiful, amazing friends around the globe, and we help each other. Because this is nothing that you do on your own. You don't do this journey on your own. You get help, like so many of you have done. You have hired me to help you. And that is like the freaking best decision that you ever made, because you are tapping into that inner knowing, to that inner power that you have within. So I did a session several years ago where my friend and I, we really tapped into what is that inner power. Should Linda be, like, we are asking all my guides and everything. This is amazing and magical what's happening when we're doing this kind of sessions. We are power women's, yes, for sure. And this is the thing. I call them earth angels. I call us earth angels exactly what you're speaking about, Erika. We have come here to earth, and this is why we feel so extremely different, because we have come here to earth and we are not supposed to fit in with the system. I thought I was never a rebel because I was the good girl all the time. I was pleasing everybody else. And now in retrospect, I can even see that it was really more my ex-husband who really wanted to become a father than me actually wanting to become a mom. I was pleasing everybody else, and I knew that my mom was sad that I couldn't get pregnant, so I was trying to get pregnant for her as well. You see? There are so many things that I was not aware of back then, but I'm aware of it now. Hey, Lina. So during that session, we tapped into that power that was within me, or is within me. I am that power now. So I'm happy, Erika, that you said when I asked, like, what word do you, when you think about me, what word do you think about? And you said power. And I'm very, very happy. Oh, thank you, Lina. Thank you so much. I'm very happy that you said you connect me with power, because I felt that I had so much power within, but I was afraid of looking at it. So we asked my guidance, and my friend, she said, do Linda need to be afraid of this power that she has within? And they were like, no, definitely not. That power within, they explained this to me during the session. This is so magical. We can access so much information during sessions like this. So they are telling me that no, she does not need to be afraid of that power. That power is her true self. That power is her soul. And they were explaining it to me like it was a green dragon. They were like, every time Linda's head is afraid of something, just connect with the green dragon. Just let the green dragon speak. And it is beautiful because many times Jonas reminds me of my green dragon. So if I get afraid of when we have been in a restaurant, for example, and the food came in wrong or something, and I'm like, something wrong with my food. And before, I used to be so afraid. I wouldn't say anything because I was a good girl trying to please everybody. But now Jonas is like, do you remember the green dragon? The green dragon. And I'm like, hey, excuse me, something wrong with my food. And Pete, like, so that's the green dragon actually speaking through me. Whenever I get afraid, I'm like tapping into the green dragon. Tapping into the green dragon that knows exactly what to say, how to say it, and doing it in a way that is very loving. So this is the thing, ladies. Whether you are a mom or not a mom, you don't know if you want to be a mom, whatever. Fuck that shit for now. We put that aside and we come into what is the true thing here. The true thing is that we are gathered here because we are connected with that feeling of it must be more to my life than what I'm currently living. Hate working for a boss. I know I am supposed to have freedom in my life, and I know that I'm supposed to live a life on my own terms. So if that is you, whether you are a mom, not a mom, doesn't matter. If you feel that, let me know. Let me know, and I will guide you through, because then I will ask you a couple of questions, but then I will also let you into my group. So we will change the group name again for that group. This is the thing. When we're really diving in very deeply to the marketing message, like who is it exactly that I'm talking to, sometimes it is our head that is speaking, and like the head thinks like this is the best idea to go. And then you're like realizing the more you evolve, and you're realizing like, no, that was not really actually what I was supposed to do. Then you do something else. So Erika, you are in that group already. That is amazing. And I love that you are raising your hand. And I'm so happy that you are in that group. So this is a group that is currently called Get Pregnant for Women Who Want to Be More Than a Regular Mom. Because that was the closest that I could name this group when I named it. But I'm going to rename it. Don't know exactly what I'm going to name it to yet, because now we're more focusing on what I've been talking about the whole time. But we're really digging deep here. So I will change the name. So for all of you who are not in the group, who feel that this message resonates with me, I hate working for a boss, I want my freedom, reach out and do it as soon as you possibly can, because next week I'm launching something that is absolutely incredible. So for all of you women who are in the group already, next week, make sure to keep your eyes open, because something absolutely awesome is coming. I did tease you about this like even a week ago, and I said I have big things coming, and they were bigger than I thought that they were going to be. So therefore it took a little bit more time to work behind the scenes on the stuff. So that is what I'm spending and investing my time in right now when I'm not showing up here for all of you guys. I'm dedicated. I'm really dedicated to make this change in the world. Because I know that once all of you find your true mission, we're going to change this world together. This is what we do. This is why we feel like we as Earth Angels, we have come here to change the world. We have come here to understand the gifts that we came to planet Earth with, so that we can start to help more people. We are raising the consciousness of the humans, and we do it by finding our soul's calling, and we turn that into a business, into something that we can make money from, so that we can start to live the freedom lifestyle that we always wanted, so that we can fire that boss, so that we can kick that boss into ass and just say goodbye, and then start to live life on our own terms. So if that sounds like you, reach out. I will ask you a couple of questions, and then I will most likely be able to invite you to the group if we feel like a good fit. And I'm so excited to see your future. I've seen my own life, the transformation that I've made, and it is absolutely incredible. And I've seen this in hundreds and hundreds of women around the globe, and the results are absolutely massive. So with that said, I'm wishing you a super beautiful rest of your day, and I'm so excited to see you in the group. Bye for now.